I'm aLex. Thanks for joining me this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you join. We're here together in Sun and Moon Yoga Studios YouTube portal. I'm in my home. Maybe you're at your home, maybe you're in a park, maybe you're on vacation. We'll spend I'm going to cut these a little shorter than they've been. I'm hoping the total will be about 20 minutes of just really listening in and becoming more and more familiar with presence, the presence that's never not with us, the presence that is our source, actually. I find myself lately drawn to mystery. Well, I've been that for a long time, police dramas or mysteries. And it feels like the only thing I really want to read these days. I've discovered Louise Penny, as many of you probably already have. And I'm fascinated by the fascination with mysteries in humans. So often we're drawn to what's very familiar, and yet we're also drawn to what's unknown. And we watch for it with vigilance, with our nervous system sort of really on. But what we do here together in these practices of meditation, of yoga, of qigong, of prayer, of mindfulness, number of paths, avenues, is to learn to be on the edge of mystery. Excuse me, burping up my breakfast. Be on the edge of mystery, and in a relaxed way, in a curious and wondering way, the way more childlike in a sense, more like children enjoying Harry Potter, or delight in what's next without the more adult worries and concerns. So let's start with a little movement, and that micro movement will segue us into a stillness. You can choose to be sitting, lying down. I'm close to my wall here in our sunroom. I could, if I chose, lean right up against it. So whatever position. Oh, actually, for the micro movement, yeah, you could do it from even a laying down, but part of it will be a little different for you. So, and ensure just you have what you need in your space to stay comfortable for, as far as you know, for the next 18 or so minutes. Temperature-wise, quiet-wise. And let's just arrive. And as you're arriving, let your attention be the portal of noticing anything that you notice, what this transition feels like. Perhaps you're coming from a very busy or agitated state, or maybe from a relaxed state or playful state. But transitions have a certain feel. And a very, very important part of these practices is that they are not just thinking it or imagining it, or it's a combination of our of what we feel through the body and through the heart, along with what we sense through our thinking abilities, cognitive abilities. Noticing breath, noticing the ground that's holding us. Noticing the conversations of what's out there coming in here, whether it's sound. I can hear the sound of our fireplace. There are some kind of muted sounds from outside. There's the temperature, the air around me and how it feels on my skin. And there's the sensations on the inside that come up to our awareness, to our consciousness. So let's begin the movement. And you can just keep leaning back into these elements of sensing breath, sensing the ground, sensing sound and space around. And let's shrug our shoulders toward our ears. So you can do this if you're lying down, and then just let them drop. Shrug toward the ears and let them drop. Towards your ears. Hold for a moment, breathing comfortably, and let them drop. And then just one side at a time. Up, and maybe take your ear towards your shoulder and relax down or drop down. And at the same time, we're moving shoulder. Notice what that movement does through ribs, through the opposite side, through the side that's not lifting up and dropping down, through the pelvis. And tilt your head away as you bring the shoulder, chasing the same side ear. Pause a moment before we go to the other side. We can pause anywhere. And a pause is an opportunity to be still and take in all that's happening in a transition. Something different is happening. And now the other side, draw the shoulder up toward the ear, relax it down, and going slow enough so I've slowed my action down a little so kind of feel what's happening in the ribs and the waist and the hips and the arm, even in the legs and feet. And then I'm going to tilt my head away as the shoulder chases the ear. Drop it down. Just really letting go when that drop happens, just everything letting go. Very safe kind of dropping. Okay, and pause again. And notice that it's very, very easy for your mind to report what's different. Simply noticing, and you might even make the comment, a label of what it is you're noticing as we stop. It happens a lot anyway that we label what we're noticing. And so it's good to get more and more conscious of what it is what label we're giving it. Because that then determines sort of our world, our view of what's happening and how we will act in response to it, how we will respond. So on the edge of mystery, what's next? Now, going back to the first side shoulder, turn your head away from that side, and lift the shoulder and tilt the head back of the head. So you can do this, I think, laying down. Or you'll see if that doesn't work, you can come back to sitting for this part. Squeeze the shoulder as the head is turned away from that shoulder, up toward back of the head to the shoulder, and drop it. And again, my description was from shoulder and head, but watch and feel the whole of yourself, all that's happening together. Come back to center and just again pause. And a number of things could be different. Could be different in a way that's pleasing. Could be different in a way that's not pleasing. There might be some recurring thoughts or concerns that are coming in that are not changed. And then the other side, turn the head away from the shoulder. We're going to lift up, and we lift it up and toward the back of the head tilts back, and drop it. Notice if you're breathing in as we lift the shoulder, or if you're breathing out. There's not a judgment, it's not a right or wrong. Or if there's no particular syncing with the breath. And let it go. And when you stop and notice and say to yourself what happened, and I was like noticing this cracking in that side, is that as accurate a description as possible? So we add a little pause, like we say it to ourselves. And in fact, let's go to more present. The cracking was past. If I was to report now, listen for a moment. There's a warmth, a welcome warmth and ease in my neck and shoulders. Welcome warmth and ease. And as I hear myself say that, I hear that it's pretty accurate. I don't know that I can improve on it, but I'll just sink into that for a moment, and you can do the same with whatever phrase you've come up with. There's also a little excitement in my belly at the same time. There's warmth and ease. And the gesture I just made, sort of, that can be what your report is. That can be just as, maybe more expressive than the words. And let's slide in now to about a 5-6 minute meditation. So find your way to stillness. Bell can herald a special transition. Ensuring that your position, your posture, whether you're laying down or sitting or whatever orientation, is comfortable enough to that, as far as we know, to be still. Something may arise that we can't predict. That's the mystery line. And our arriving, our centering, a little bit of guiding our attention to movement, to combine body, mind, heart. Didn't address heart so much, but heart could be that you just felt content or happy or agitated, the emotional piece. That's also just without any of those pieces, there's a very incomplete picture. So let's allow the silence and stillness, meeting it, if something distracts us, with as much gentleness, forgiveness, and a realization there's nothing wrong. There's not a punishment to be meted out. Just return to what our intention is to be still and silent and rest as awareness. For any meanderings away from the path of meditation, of a still, silent, resting as awareness, meet yourself with a gentle forgiveness and simply turn around, come back. And there's really nowhere to go, it's just right here. The backward step, the gateless gate. And then these last few breaths, if you have found yourself or find yourself naming, narrating, rather than just being, that's so natural, and it complements the practice we did earlier. And so just see how and what naming is happening, and perhaps it keeps going, or perhaps you turn away from it. So there's no grabbing necessary or pushing away, just sort of a neutrality. Bringing this short snack, little weekly snack of a practice to a close. Another transition, another just observing what you're noticing. You might have a leisurely transition, or you might need to be chop chop on to the next thing. All of that creates a different atmosphere for you. And I'll just leave you with a short poem by Ron Padgett. Complementing this theme of the wonder of the mystery. Words from the front. Oops, that's not the one I want to read. Sorry. Now You See It is the poem by Ron Padgett. What you don't see helps you see what you do see. The keyhole sharpens the thrill in your brain, even if there is no one in the room. Shadows wafting across the white sheets as a song drifts in the window. Her voice so pure you can see the face it rises from. For what you see helps you see what you don't see. Thanks for joining me again. Please see our menu of offerings on our Sun and Moon Studio page. I know that sometime mid-March, I think, for one little taste of what's coming up, Vicki Christian will be offering a Yoga Nidra, which is a wonderful similar quiet practice. It's the yogic sleep or deep rest. It's essentially a body scan, but often complemented with sometimes imagery, breath work that make it a very potent transformational tool of calming down the nervous system and integrating, which is what we also practice here to bring that element of calm. As a short clip from Amir is available recently also on our feed on the YouTube page, to when we're challenged, so we can then see a much more of the picture and respond in ways that benefit ourselves and others. Hope you enjoy your week. See you here next time. Ciao, ciao.